I thought I would show you how to do my oils. Because I soap at room temperature, I do things a little bit differently than you see on most videos. Most videos they tend to put all the oils in together, the liquid and the hard, and heat that till it's melted, which means it all gets really, really hot. And if you want to do room temperature, you then have to wait way too long for everything to be room temperature. So this is what I do. My recipe has 3 hard oils, which is palm, which is there, coconut, which is there, and the tallow, which is the extra white stuff. I'm going to put all of these in the microwave. Now I'm not going to melt them until they're fully melted because it just makes it way too hot. What I will do is put it in for 1.5 minutes because I know my microwave now, and that will come out and I'll show you what it looks like at 1.5 minutes, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let me see if you can see where I am because I don't know. Yep, good. Alright, now as you can see it's partially melted. That is the palm, and the coconut's completely melted because it's got the lowest melting point. The palm's almost there, you can see it's very, very soft, and the tallow is still quite hard. So I will just put an apron on. I have a tendency to splash oil everywhere. I'm not going to do that up. Yeah, I'm a bit messy, so, but yeah, I don't like to wait, so I found this method is the best way to get your oils melted without them getting like, you know, 80-90 degrees, which I really don't want. So I use the heat of the coconut to melt pretty much most of the palm, and what I'll do is I'll just tap, see there's lumps here, I'll just tap them on the side and break them up. Now that one's a tallow one, so it won't break up as much, but most of these little lumps are palm. Yes, I use palm. If you have a problem, keep it to yourself. It is actually sustainable palm. And even if it wasn't, if you have a problem, keep it to yourself. This is my goat's milk soap. So this is why I use tallow, because it doesn't need to have vegan ingredients. So by tapping these down and making smaller pieces, when they're smaller, they don't require as much heat to melt down. So, but because the tallow has such a high melting point compared to the palm and the coconut, it is what will take the longest. So, no gloves. The only reason I use gloves when I'm doing oils is because I can't stand the feel of oils on my skin. I also don't like moisturiser, so. But that's just because I'm weird. But yeah, so yeah, and then give it a mix through. You can see that it's obviously not ready because it's not clear. Because that's what we're aiming for, is clear oil. That means everything's melted down. So, but that is not even remotely warm. I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot by any stretch of the imagination. It's barely, you wouldn't even shower in that. Right, so that will go back in the microwave now for another, I'll put it in for another minute. Alrighty, so as you can see, it's pretty much all melted now, with the exception of a little bit of the tallow. I'm just going around and picking up all the bits off the side. But yeah, if there's enough heat in this oil now, you can see the bits getting smaller and smaller. There's enough heat there now to melt everything. Sometimes I won't put it back for a whole minute, I'll just put it back for 30 seconds, but for the sake of video today, I just put it in for a minute. So this may be a little hotter than it usually is. So that little bit's almost gone. Please excuse the mess today. I just got a bit of a fragrance haul from NCS, so everything's a mess because I just opened the box. I got out of bed, opened the box, and then cut a soap, and now I'm doing this. Alright, so you can see that's all mixed, and it's nice and clear, so that means it's all melted. So what I will do now is I'll actually take that temperature for you. clean this off because it's probably got wax on it. Did candles last night, so. Alright, so let's have a look. Now the temperature in the house is probably, I think it's about 24. This is rather hot. So that's sitting at around 60 degrees, which is way too hot to soak at room temperature, right? So here's where the sneaky part comes in. Because what I will now do, no longer need that spoon, is I'm going to put my liquid oils in, which are all at room temperature. I'll leave them on the floor so that they're not in your way. Alright, now that's probably going to be far too far away. So what we will do, I'll do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. And I need to look at my recipe. Alright, so yeah, so what we say, that was 60 degrees. The expensive stuff. Well, comparatively to most other things, it's expensive. Well, you know, not compared to hemp oil or argan oil or one of those. I guess it's comparatively cheap. But I don't use any of those because I can't afford them. I kind of wonder if even if I could afford them, whether or not I would, because I really like this recipe. This is my goat's milk. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So if the oils are a little bit hotter, it's okay because the goat's milk will go in this and it will cool it down even further. And there we have it. That was well done. So, what I will do, actually I will get that spoon back out again. So that is a kilo of oils, right? I always work with a kilo, just because it's just easier just to work things out in my head if I need to work it out on the fly. So give that a mix and then we'll check the temperature again. You can see it's still nice and clear, so because the oils are room temperature, not cold, it hasn't made anything start to re-solidify. So, alright, so this thing just sitting on the bench says that the temperature, it's just hard to read this thing. It says it's about 24. So it's popped up to about 35 now. It seems to have stopped moving. So, alright, so that's a big difference, isn't it? Down from 60 to 35. We're still not at room temperature, but like I said, that's okay. What I will do, so I'll use my awesome cup. I'm probably doing this off camera, but I don't think it really matters. Do you really need to see me measure out goat's milk? It's really not that exciting. As I said in one of my other videos, this is the goat's milk that I prefer to use because I do not have access to fresh. Oh, wish I had goats. Or fresh goat's milk, either one I wouldn't care. I'd love to have goats. But yeah, this is the one that I use. You'll find it on the shelf, not in the fridge. For Australians, I don't know in any other countries, but this you'll find on the shelf near where your milk powders, like your Milo and all of that, that's where this is. It's not cheap. It's $4.50 I think for one of these, but it's a litre. I use 150 to 160 in the soap, so you get a few out of it. This is 100% goat's milk. So yeah, all right. So we were at what, 35? So we'll add this in. I really don't need that now. I say that I'll probably need it in a second. All right, so now obviously I can't take the temperature of that. How good is this cup? So I will give it a whiz. Sure, just clean off the orange soap that's on that. Give it a whiz. That was habit, because it doesn't really matter if there's those bubbles in it. And now you will see that the temperature should be almost perfect. I think that moved. Oh, yeah, no, I think it's about 29 now. So that goat's milk come out of the fridge. So, well, it might actually be 30. So there you go. So still not quite room temperature for the, once I said it's about 24 in here. So what I will do now is probably go sit on Facebook. Yeah, and I will leave this now just for a little while, just to cool down just a smidge. The goat's milk will separate back out again because it can't emulsify because it's in oils. I'll just give it another whiz and then off I'll go, and you'll watch me do that because I'll probably film it. But yeah, that's it. So that's how I do my room temperature oils without having to wait hours and hours and hours for the bloody things to cool down. So